Well, a good evening to all pro wrestling fans of all shapes and sizes from all around the world. Welcome to another Pro Wrestling Talk video brought to you by Blitzball Champ Gaming here on the U to the Tube. I'm your host, Blitzball Champ Jason Ingram. So, wanted to do a triple header review for this video. First, I'm going to review Miyuki Takase's 8th anniversary show. Then I'm going to transition to NXT No Mercy 2025. And then I'm going to finish off with New Japan Pro Wrestling's Destruction in Kobe. So, 3 reviews, 3 different shows of 3 different promotions. So, let's go ahead and jump right into Miyuki Takase's 8th anniversary show. And it took place in Osaka, Japan at the Osaka 176 box. And this was this past Saturday, September 27th. Like I said, Miyuki Takase produced this show in celebration of her 8th year as a pro wrestler. So, 8 years in the books for the Phoenix of Osaka, Miyuki Takase. And now let's get to the matches. Overall, solid card. Let's get started. There were 5 total matches. Well, technically 6 total matches, but check it out. First up, we had ourselves a tag team match where we had the team of Chi and Mika Iwata taking on the team of Haruka Umesaki and Misa Kagura. A solid opening match, and I have to say, Mika Iwata definitely looked like she was wrestling pretty much in a pissy mood. Even to the point where she was kind of, getting in the face of her tag team partner and Chi and even, attacked her a little bit. But yeah, Mika Iwata was not in a great mood for this match. But this was still a very physical match between both teams. Definitely Haruka and Misa were on the same page. Looked strong together as a tag team. But despite Mika Iwata being in a pissy mood, she ended up being the turning point of the match as far as sealing the deal for her team, as she finished off Misa Kagura with a nice brutal 3-kick combo to put her down, pinned her for the 1-2-3. Mika Iwata and Chi are your winners of the opening tag match, and Chi tried to give her a hug, and she was not feeling that at all. But yeah, Mika Iwata was definitely wrestling kind of angry. I'm just saying. But hey, worked in her and her tag partner's favor, as Chi and Mika Iwata got the victory. So, I mean, can't necessarily hate on it. Alright, let's go to the next match. Check this one out. Alright, we got ourselves a 3-way match between Nagisa Nozaki, Lady Destroyer Hiroyo Matsumoto, and Zonas. This was a good physical match as well. I definitely felt like Hiroyo Matsumoto and Zonas kind of singled out Nagisa Nozaki a little bit, but this was a pretty fun match. Love all 3 ladies in this match. And it was very surprising how the finish went for this match. Did not expect this, but Lady Destroyer Hiroyo Matsumoto got the victory via submission. That's right, got like a wrenching headlock on Zonas, and she ended up tapping out. Hiroyo Matsumoto with the submission victory. Now, I have been a fan of Hiroyo Matsumoto for a long time, a very long time, and I have to say, I don't think I've ever seen her win a match by submission. So, that was shocking. That was very shocking. So, I don't hate it, but I did not expect Hiroyo Matsumoto to win via submission, especially a simple wrenching headlock. But hey, it all counts the same, right? But anyway, Hiroyo Matsumoto with the submission victory. Let's go on to our next match. This next match was pretty solid as well. Check this one out. Here we go. More tag team action as we had the team of Honma and the Phoenix of Osaka Miyuki Takase taking on the team of Kakeru Sekiguchi and Miku Aono. Solid match between both of these teams. Definitely went back and forth. A very loaded match as far as talent. And, it was pretty cool to see Honma get an opportunity to wrestle on the show. Of course, she's on her retirement road. But this was a great back and forth match between both teams. But it would be this year's Marigold Dreamstar Grand Prix winner in Miku Aono that picked up the victory for her team, hitting a devastating Styles Clash on Honma and then rolling her up for the 1-2-3. Miku Aono and Kakeru Sekiguchi are your winners. But a solid match, a very solid match between both teams. All right, let's go to our fourth match. Here we go. Alrighty, we had ourselves a tag match where we had Hibiscus Me and Kyuusei Ninja Ranmaru teaming up to take on Team 200 kilograms of Chihiro Hashimoto and you. This match did not last long at all. As a matter of fact, this match was pretty quick. This match was really quick. Chihiro Hashimoto hit a short arm lariat on Ranmaru and then pinned her for the 3 count. I don't think this match lasted even 2 or 3 minutes. So, very, very short match. And then afterwards, they got on the mic and pretty much set up for one more match involving both these teams, but it would turn into a trios match as Shin Sakura Hirota, dressed up as Mako Satomura, would come down and join Hibiscus Me and Ranmaru, and they ended up taking on Team 200 kilograms with the addition of one Shuji Ishikawa, just out of nowhere, joins Team 200 kilograms. And then they run it back. They have a trios match. And, of course, it was a very comedy-heavy match for obvious reasons. They even got on the mic throughout the match. Even Shuji Ishikawa and Shin Sakura Hirota shared a kiss. Team 200 kilograms shared a kiss. It was just random. It was just random comedy throughout the whole match. And yeah, it took a double splash combo from Team 200 kilograms, followed up by a diving double foot stomp from Shuji Ishikawa, all on Shin Sakura Hirota dressed up as Mako Satomura. And then afterwards, Shuji gets the pin on Sakura Hirota for the 3 count. Shuji Ishikawa, Team 200 kilograms, pick up the victory in the trios match. But like I said, it was a very comedy-heavy match. So, it is what it is. And, you know, they had to make up for it with that very short tag match before this. So, I get it. I totally get it. And then the main event. The main event of Miyuki Takase's 8th anniversary show came down to this special, very special trios match as the team of Ryo Mizunami, Izuki Aoki, and once again the Phoenix of Osaka, Miyuki Takase, would take on the trio of Rina Yamashita, Veni, and Utami Hayashishita. And oh, was this a great, epic main event. I really loved the spot they did with Ryo Mizunami doing the machine gun chops on Utami, who was stacked on top of Rina Yamashita and Veni. So I thought that was pretty funny. But this was a very entertaining main event. And, you know, had Miyuki Takase doing double duty for this one. But hey, I mean, it's her show, so she can do that if she wants. But this was a solid match between both teams. Very enjoyable. And I even loved the back and forth clashes between Ryo Mizunami and Utami Hayashishita. Those were pretty entertaining. But Rina Yamashita would end up picking up the victory for her team as she hit Miyuki Takase with a crucifix bomb and then pinning her for the 1-2-3. Rina Yamashita, Veni, Utami Hayashishita, your winners. But a very entertaining main event. And like I said, congratulations to the Phoenix of Osaka, Miyuki Takase, on her 8th anniversary. Definitely somebody that I've been a fan of ever since I first saw her live via DPW. Of course, you know, she's a former DPW Women's World Champion. And I was just really happy to have gotten a chance to not only meet her 3 different times, but to see her wrestle live, whether it's in a singles match, a tag match, a trios match, like just all of the above. So, very proud of Miyuki Takase and all of her success. And once again, shout out to Deadlock Pro Wrestling on giving her a run with the DPW Women's World Championship. Thought that was really cool. And you know, just to give y'all an idea of what I'm talking about. Actually, here's me and Miyuki right here. This was when she won the DPW Women's World Championship. Yes, I know she had the belt on upside down. It is what it is. But yeah, this was when she had won the title. I did a meet and greet with her before her match, earlier, before the show. But then afterwards, after she won the title, I was just like, you know what, let me get another picture with her. So that's what I did. But yeah, overall, great show. Really, really great show. It was nice that they did the little bonus match after the really quick tag match. So that was good. A great dose of action, a great dose of comedy. Hey, can't go wrong with that. Can't go wrong with that. Okay. Now let's switch gears to WWE NXT No Mercy 2025. This show was also on September 27th. This was Saturday as well. And this took place at the FTL War Memorial in Fort Lauderdale, Florida. But yeah, there were 6 matches. And overall pretty solid. Now, I apologize in advance because I actually don't have each graphic saved. So I do apologize in advance. It was a very busy weekend and I didn't get a chance to get every graphic saved. So just a FYI, I do apologize. But let's go ahead and get started. First off, we had a singles match between Josh Briggs and Javon Evans. Excellent opening match. Match went almost 16 and a half minutes, and it was just back and forth. Really loved this match. And, you know, these are two people that I've met before. Really enjoyed a lot of Josh Briggs' work back in Evolve. And, of course, you know, big fan of Javon Evans ever since I, started watching him back via DPW. But match was hard hitting, a lot of high flying, definitely back and forth. I love the clash of styles between both of these wrestlers, and came really close. And I know Josh Briggs had gotten the best of Javon Evans previously, but this time it would be different, as Javon Evans was able to put away Josh Briggs after a Malacutter, as back when he used to be Jay Malachi. Put away Josh Briggs with the cutter. Got a lot of elevation on that cutter. And pinned him for the 1-2-3. The young OG, Javon Evans, gets the victory in the opening match of No Mercy 2025. And I have to say, shout out to Javon Evans, as he has a big opportunity to look forward to later in the month of October, as he will be challenging Leon Slater for the TNA X Division Championship at Bound for Glory. So, big opportunity for Javon Evans. I mean, Bound for Glory is pretty much TNA's WrestleMania. So, big opportunity for him. But for now, victory for Javon Evans over Josh Briggs at No Mercy 2025. Alright, next up we had the WWE Women's Speed Championship on the line. It was originally supposed to be Sol Ruka defending against Lainey Reed, but they did the interview with her backstage, and it was confirmed that she wasn't medically cleared to compete, and she had a walking boot on. So Sol Ruka still ended up defending the Speed Championship, and her mystery opponent ended up being Jada Parker. So Jada Parker versus Sol Ruka, WWE Women's Speed Championship on the line. Match was alright. I mean, it's under speed rules, so only a 5-minute time limit. Match was alright. Definitely went back and forth for what amount of time that they used. But the main turning point was that Lash Legend appeared to disrupt things. Of course, her and Jada Parker have been kind of clashing and whatnot. And pretty much the distraction to Jada Parker left her open as she was getting back into the ring to eat a soul snatcher from Sol Ruka. She pins her for the 1-2-3. Sol Ruka still your Women's Speed Champion. But yeah, things are definitely not over between Jada Parker and Lash Legend. And as a matter of fact, they ended up brawling a little bit later that night. So, yeah. Alright, next match. The next match was the weaponized steel cage match between Jordan Grace and Blake Monroe. Solid match. Match went for 16 minutes, 13 seconds. Honestly, the action was intense, and all sorts of weapons were used, from kendo sticks to chairs to trash cans, even diamonds. Even diamonds were used. Even a blow dryer was being used. There was a spot where Blake Monroe tied up Jordan Grace using the blow dryer cord to the ropes, and then she proceeded to cut Jordan Grace's hair, cut some of her hair off. Like that had to have been quite a crazy spot there. And then, them getting slammed and dropped on top of a bed of diamonds, like diamonds and jewels. That was pretty innovative. Pretty innovative and creative spot. And match just went back and forth. It was intense. And who knows? Maybe this sort of kind of closed a chapter in their rivalry. I don't know. But Jordan Grace was able to get a big victory over Blake Monroe as she dropped Blake Monroe with an air raid crash off the cage through a table and pinned her for the 3 count. So Jordan Grace with the victory. And yeah, intense match. Definitely my favorite match of the whole entire card, to be honest with you. That was my favorite match. Like, pretty much, that was my favorite match, and the opening match. Those were, like, my 2 favorite matches. Okay. Now, this next one, I do have a graphic for. Alright. Check it out. Alright. We have the NXT North American Championship on the line. As the champion, All Ego Ethan Page defended against Tavion Heights. Match was alright for what it was. Went a little bit over 10 minutes. So about 10 minutes, 19 seconds. I mean, to be honest, nothing really special out of this match. Can't say really much happened that was memorable. I just know this is a rivalry has been kind of going on for a bit. But I think probably Ethan Page may have, put this to bed. But match was alright. All Ego Ethan Page, he ended up hitting an avalanche power slam off of the turnbuckle, and then followed it up with the twisted grin and pinned Tavion for the 3 count. Ethan Page, still your NXT North American champion. And then afterwards, El Hijo del Dr. Wagner Jr. appeared on the screen, and it's looking like he wants the next shot. So, sounds like he may be challenging for the NXT North American Championship. Or, who knows, maybe Ethan Page challenges for the AAA Championship. Or I believe it was a AAA Latin Championship. I forgot what title he had. Somebody correct me if I'm wrong. But yeah, so looking forward to that. Alright, let's go to our next match, which I should have the graphic for this one. Yes, I do. So, next match. Alright, this was for the NXT Women's Championship. As the champion, JC Jane of Fatal Influence, defending against Lola Vice. Overall, pretty solid match between these two. I know Fallon Henley was there ringside, but match went a little over 18.5 minutes, so gave these ladies plenty of time. Definitely back and forth, even got to the point where Fallon Henley got ejected, and just Lola Vice's family was in attendance. And honestly, with the way things were going, it was looking like Lola Vice was finally going to do this. This was her 3rd time challenging for this title, and it really looked like she was going to pull this off. But after she dropped JC Jane with a back fist and kind of, fell out of the ring, she got attacked by a masked assailant She got back in the ring and was met with a rolling encore by the champion that dropped her. She pinned her for the 3 count. JC Jane, still your NXT Women's Champion. Lola Vice denied for the 3rd time. And to be honest, given that there was a backstage segment between Lola Vice and Lainey Reed, I think it's safe to say that Lainey Reed could have been the one that was in the hood and mask that attacked Lola Vice. That's what I'm thinking. Just given their conversation that they had backstage. So, we'll see how things develop with that, but it's kind of disappointing. This was her 3rd crack at this championship and came up short. Again, I was really disappointed because I picked Lola to win, but oh well. And then the main event of NXT No Mercy 2025 came down to this. The NXT Championship. As the champion, the ruler, Obafemi, defended against Ricky Saints. Overall, solid match. Definitely a solid match between these two. Went almost 17 and a half minutes. So plenty of time for its main event. And did not expect Ricky Saints to kick out of a fall from grace. But like I said, these two went at it back and forth. Not a fan of the finish, though. Was honestly not a fan of the finish. So, he went for a second fall from grace, and it got countered into a DDT, and then Ricky Saints followed it up with a springboard tornado DDT, and then pinned him for the 3 count. So, didn't even use his finisher, the Rochambeau, just a springboard tornado DDT. So, I don't know. I wasn't feeling that finish. I'm not upset that Ricky Saints won. I mean, I like Ricky Saints. I've met Ricky Saints. I'm not upset that he won. Eventually, Obafemi was going to lose. I'm not upset that Ricky Saints won. It was just how the finish looked that I wasn't a fan of. It could have been a better finish. But congratulations to Ricky Saints on becoming the new NXT champion. He dethrones Obafemi. And you know what? So this ends Obafemi's reign at 263 days. And this was, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So lost the title on his 11th defense. So he's gotten 10 successful defenses and lost on the 11th. You know what? I mean, hey, heck of a run. Heck of a run. Heck of a run for Obafemi. But now that he's been dethroned, honestly, and see, he was 10 days less from his North American Championship reign. But like I said, I think it's time to call up Obafemi. I think it's time. Because in all honesty, there's really nothing more for him to do on NXT. So I think they should go ahead and call him up to the main roster. So we'll see what happens. But I think it's time for Obafemi to get the call up. But No Mercy was good. No Mercy was good. Didn't really have a whole lot of complaints. But No Mercy was good. No Mercy was definitely good. Okay. And then finally, get to some New Japan Pro Wrestling action, as we had NJPW Destruction in Kobe 2025. This took place Sunday, September 28th. This was at the Kobe World Hall in Kobe, Japan. A good handful of matches, including title matches as well. But yeah, let's go ahead and jump right into the mix of things. Let's do this. Alright, here we go. First match. Now, originally this was supposed to be a trios match, but this ended up turning into a 10-man tag team match. That's right. So we ended up getting the team of Yoshihashi, Yuya Uemura, Shota Umino, Yo, and El Desperado taking on House of Torture, made up of Dick Togo, Sonata, Evil, Sho, and Doki. So yeah, what was originally a trios, they turned it into a 10-man tag. Match only lasted a little over 7.5 minutes, so really wasn't a whole lot. Not that much crazy shenanigans in this match, despite House of Torture being in it. But it was pretty much back and forth for 7.5 minutes. But it would be Yuya Uemura that would pin Dick Togo with a Frankensteiner pin for the 1-2-3. And yeah, the good guys win. Yoshihashi, Yuya Uemura, Shota Umino, Yo, El Desperado, your winners. But yeah, that was pretty much it for that. Alright, let's go to our next match. Next match, singles match between Mr. Ace President Hiroshi Tanahashi taking on Great-O-Khan. Nothing too crazy with this match. This was another one that went about 7 minutes 45 seconds. But yeah, it was back and forth. Like I said, this is a matchup that, isn't new or anything like that. But just part of Hiroshi Tanahashi's retirement road. Another singles match with Great-O-Khan. Nothing too crazy though. Just back and forth. But like the Great-O-Khan was going to put away Hiroshi Tanahashi with the Eliminator. He counters it into a roll-up pin for the 1-2-3. Mr. Ace President Hiroshi Tanahashi with the victory. And then, out of nowhere, afterwards, from Pro Wrestling Noah, Kaito Kiyomiya shows up and asks if Hiroshi Tanahashi would join him for a tag team match at Noah's Wrestle Odyssey on October 11th. And he accepted. So we're going to have Kaito Kiyomiya and Hiroshi Tanahashi team up at Wrestle Odyssey. Hey, that's cool. I can dig it. I'm looking forward to Wrestle Odyssey as well. Definitely can't wait for them to finalize the card for that so I can preview that. I think that's going to be a great show. All right. Let's go to our next match, which was the first championship match of the card. Check it out. This was for the Never Open Weight Championship, as the champion, Boltin Oleg, defended against House of Torture's Don Fale. Match was okay. Nothing really special, to be honest with you. Felt like it was just kind of there. Not to mention, it was only just under 6 minutes. So it wasn't a long match. Hard hitting. I mean, definitely Don Fale and Boltin Oleg traded their power moves and whatnot. But at the end of the day, Boltin Oleg would retain. He was able to finally get Don Fale up to hit the kamikaze and pinned him for the 1-2-3. Boltin Oleg, still your never open weight champion. Like I said, match was okay, but it was short. It was really, really short. So that was the only thing with that. Alrighty, let's go to our next match. Alrighty, we had the IWGP Tag Team Championships on the line as the champions, Taichi and Tomohiro Ishii, defended against the Knockout Brothers of Bullet Club, War Dogs, of Oscar and Yuto Ice. Big opportunity for the Knockout Brothers. And I have to say, this was a pretty hard-hitting match. Oscar is huge, by the way. Really, really huge. I had to be reminded of how big that dude is. Match lasted 13.5 minutes. And, you know, even though the champs looked strong, the Knockout Brothers would not be denied. And it definitely showed, you know, with this new look, this new attitude from Yuto Ice and Oscar, they definitely have potential to have a good run. And speaking of good run, Yuto Ice got the pin on the Stone Pit Bull after they hit the KOB and then pinned him for the 1-2-3. And we have new IWGP Tag Team Champions and the Knockout Brothers of Oscar and Yuto Ice of Bullet Club War Dogs. So, congratulations to them. And yeah, we'll see what kind of a run this team can have with the titles. But very impressive, you know, defending a combination of Taichi, or defeating a combination of Taichi and Tomohiro Ishii. That's a pretty strong combination. Alrighty, let's go to our next match. Now, I originally did not know that this was going to be a title match, but it ended up being a title match. So this was for the GHC Junior Heavyweight Championship, as the champion, the ticking time bomb, Hiromu Takahashi, defended against Bone Soldier Taiji Ishimori. I find it ironic that this is happening with Hiromu holding this Noah GHC championship, and it made me think, we have to remember Taiji Ishimori competed in Pro Wrestling Noah, you know, for a long time. So I thought that was kind of interesting. But this match was 11.5 minutes. I really enjoyed the mess out of this match. This was definitely one of my favorites on the card, for sure. And, you know, definitely delivered. Love what I saw out of both of these junior heavyweights. And, you know, you can never go wrong with Hiromu and Bone Soldier. But Hiromu would not be denied, as he caught Taiji Ishimori and was able to turn it into a time bomb 2, and then he followed up with a regular time bomb and then pinned Taiji Ishimori for the 3 count. So pretty smooth, pretty awesome finish for Hiromu Takahashi, who is still your GHC Junior Heavyweight Champion. And as he was celebrating, all of a sudden, Ita from Pro Wrestling Noah comes down and drops Hiromu, dropped him with a super kick pretty much, and, you know, talked some junk and left because, of course, Ita is going to get a shot at the GHC Junior Heavyweight Championship at Wrestle Odyssey on October 11th. So, things just got intense between Hiromu and Ita. But, you know, he's going to try to get the belt back and get it back on Noah territory. So, we'll see come October 11th. Alrighty, let's go to this next match. Alrighty, a very familiar matchup here as we had a singles match between Yota Tsuji and David Finlay. Nothing too crazy. Like I said, this is a matchup that's happened before. Match lasted a little over 14 and a half minutes, and, you know, very action-packed. Definitely back and forth. These two know each other very well. And it really could have gone either way. Really could have gone either way. Very enjoyable match. But it would be Yota Tsuji putting away David Finlay. It took a second Gene Blaster to finally put him away. He hit it the first time, but David Finlay kicked out. So, and even Yota Tsuji survived getting hit by the into oblivion as well as overkill, which it didn't look like David Finlay got all of that, but still hit it, kicked out, and all that. So it was quite an intense match, but a second Gene Blaster put away David Finlay for the 3 count. Yota Tsuji, your winner. And extended the hand for David Finlay to shake it. He didn't shake it, but they definitely have a rivalry there. Have a little rivalry there. So, but Yota Tsuji, the man with $1 million smile, is your winner. Good stuff. All right. Let's go to our next match. Alrighty, we had the IWGP Global Heavyweight Championship on the line. As the champion, Gabe, Kid, War, Ready, defended against the Rampage Dragon, Shingo Takagi. Another familiar matchup, but definitely hard-hitting, definitely back and forth. These two know each other well. Match went a little over 21 and a half minutes, so this had tons of time. And like I said, I know a lot of folks don't like Gabe Kidd and whatnot. I don't have a problem with him. I'm cool with him. And this was a matchup that I definitely enjoyed. And, you know, could have gone either way. Also, kudos to Shingo hitting the Made in Japan through the table, through 2 tables on the outside. That was a really cool spot. But yeah, just both of these guys went at it. But Gabe Kidd eventually caught Shingo Takagi and was able to hit the drill-a-hole pile driver and then pin him for the 1-2-3. Gabe Kidd War Ready, still your IWGP Global Heavyweight Champion. Great sportsmanship between him and Shingo afterwards. I thought that was really cool to see. And then Yota Tsuji. Yota Tsuji came down to the ring and he challenged Gabe Kidd for that IWGP Global Heavyweight Championship, which it looks like they're going to have that match at the King of Pro Wrestling at Ryogoku Kokikukan, which is going to be on October 13th. So definitely keep an eye out for that. Should be good. That should be really good. Yota Tsuji and Gabe Kidd going at it once more. Title on the line. Should be good. And then the main event. Main event of Destruction in Kobe came down to the IWGP World Heavyweight Championship. As the champion, Zack Sabre Jr. defended against House of Torture's Ren Narita. Now, while I don't hate Ren Narita, I just hate the fact that he's in House of Torture. Because Ren Narita is somebody that has a lot of potential. Was definitely a fan of going back to his Young Lion days. But he did beat Zack Sabre Jr. in the G1, so I mean, hey. I'm just saying. But not bad. Not bad of a main event. Just not one that I had on my bingo card, that's for sure. But I mean, hey, it's Destruction in Kobe. It's not like it's Sakura Genesis or Wrestle Kingdom or anything like that. So I mean, you know, it's fine. It's fine. Match went almost 29 and a half minutes, so dang it. Almost could have hit 30 minutes. But, you know, definitely back and forth. And really, Ren Narita worked on that, I believe it was that left knee. I think it was that left knee of Zack Sabre Jr. But definitely he hung in there. And of course, you know, with the shenanigans and stuff like that. I mean, it's House of Torture. But when it was all said and done, Zack Sabre Jr. was able to put away Ren Narita with a Zack driver and pinned him for the 1-2-3. Zack Sabre Jr. still your IWGP World Heavyweight Champion. And then, with that being said and done, we now know what we're getting at King of Pro Wrestling on October 13th, as Zack Sabre Jr. will defend the IWGP World Heavyweight Championship against G1 Climax 35 winner Konosuke Takeshita. That should be a lot of fun. That should be a lot of fun. Looking forward to that match. Should be really good. But yeah. Destruction in Kobe. Pretty decent show. I won't say that it was excellent or anything, but pretty decent show. So, you know, coming off a good weekend of pro wrestling. So, hey, I can't complain. Although, I have to be honest, and, you know, I'll do a preview of this probably in a day or so. But I have to say, they announced the full card to Historic Crossover 3. Not as hyped as I thought I was going to be. But I'll get to there eventually, but just my initial thought, wasn't really feeling the card. But once I do the preview for it, I'll probably be a little more invested in it. I still haven't seen anything about, like, is it a pay-per-view? Will it be on New Japan World? Like, they haven't really specified, so we'll see. We'll see what happens. But anyway, couple of other things as well. So Saya Kamitani is once again a double champion, as she ended up dethroning Azumi of the NJPW Strong Women's Championship, which Azumi ended up losing on the second defense. Also, shout out to Hanako, who became the new Future Stardom champion. To be honest, this has got me thinking, okay. Now remember, the last NJPW Strong event of this year was Resurgence back in May, which was where Azumi won the NJPW Strong Women's Championship. To be honest, y'all, I got a feeling that that Strong Women's Championship might get unified with one of the Stardom belts, like probably the red belt. Because my thing is, there hasn't been any word or any mention of any future NJPW Strong events coming up. I mean, usually, it's about to be October in a few days. Usually they at least have Battle in the Valley announced, which is usually the show that they kick off in the new year in California. But no announcement on that. And it's like, my thing is, you got 2 women's championships under the New Japan banner with the New Japan Strong Women's Championship and the IWGP Women's Championship, which honestly, I don't really know what they're going to do, because I figured the whole idea was one was going to be mainly in Japan and the other was going to be mostly like overseas featured. But I'm not even so sure if we're going to have any more NJPW Strong events. Don't know. But for now, Saya Kamitani is a double champion again. And then apparently Sari has plans to defend the IWGP Women's Championship overseas before she gives Shuri her opportunity. No word on who her opponent will be. Some are thinking maybe AEW, and maybe she defends against Athena or somebody off AEW. Or she could go to Rev Pro, she could go to CMLL. I mean, there's options, but it hasn't been revealed yet, but opens up the door for speculation. Also, not only that, but the injuries been piling up. Azumi is going to be missing some time. Saki Kashima is going to be absent again. Unfortunately, Koki Amare got injured again. Fractured clavicle. So there's no telling when she'll be able to return, which I'm sure she's probably gonna have to get surgery this time. But hopefully she can return ASAP. But yeah, it just seems like injuries are piling up. So speedy recovery. But anyway, that's all I got. Like I said, there's a lot to look forward to coming up, and as they continue to finalize the cards for these other shows, plan on previewing them, so should be good. But anyway, that's all I got for this video. Let me know what y'all's thoughts were on the 3 shows that I reviewed. NXT No Mercy 2025, Miyuki Takase's 8th anniversary show, New Japan's Destruction in Kobe. Let me know what your thoughts were on those shows. And don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, hit that notification bell while you're at it. Thank you so much for watching. Hope you enjoyed the video. For another Pro Wrestling Talk, brought to you by Blitzball Champ Gaming here on the U to the Tube. My name is Jason Ingram. Hope everybody has a blessed start to the week, and and I will see y'all in the next video and our live stream.